grand vision. Sorry.
Good morning. Today I want to share with you great hope and vision. Are you curious about that? Yeah. I come from South Korea, a country with a long history marked by several wars. One of these wars occurred not too long ago, about 70 years ago, with North Korea, a country that was once part of the same nation. During this conflict, the United States joined the fight, risking many lives to help. And for that, we remain sincerely grateful. At one point, nearly the entire Korean peninsula had been overtaken by the North, with only a small portion of South Korea remaining. But then General MacArthur made a dramatic turn of events with the success of the Incheon landing operation, which completely changed the course of the war. Fast forward 70 years from that devastating war, South Korea has achieved miraculous development, becoming a global leader in IT. So today we live as though there are no remnants of the war, but in reality, the Korean peninsula remains in a state of armistice, with tensions high at all times. Recently, North Korea provocatively launched large balloons filled with trash and manure across the border, causing harm to many people. So how did South Korea respond? You know that? South Korea used dynamite. The BTS song Dynamite. They played BTS songs over loudspeakers aimed at the North. It's humorous, but it's also a sobering reminder of how a single nation, once united, now finds itself on the brink of pointing guns at each other. Before the war, we all lived together on the same land, but in an instant, we became enemies, fighting to kill each other, denying each other's existence, and standing in opposition. What caused such a tragedy? Is there truly no way to bring an end to this? The message I want to share with you today is about these very questions. How has the world tried to solve such tragedies up until now? As we all know, the first half of the 20th century was a time of great turmoil, when humanity's conflicts and divisions erupted into two world wars. World political leaders, recognizing the urgency of the situation, realized that without creating a global institutions like the United Nations, the world would face destruction in a third world war. There was a processing awareness of this existential threat, combined with a desire for lasting peace. As a result, just 2 months after the end of World War II, the United Nations was established with the purpose of transcending national borders and uniting countries. Underpinning the foundation of the UN was the philosophy of Immanuel Kant's idea of perpetual peace, first introduced over 220 years ago. Kant argued that for true and lasting peace, it was essential to establish domestic laws, international laws, and what he called cosmopolitan laws, laws that govern the world as a whole. His call for a rule of law to govern the world finally became a reality 150 years later with the creation of the United Nations. So if Kant's vision of perpetual peace with systems like republicanism and rule of law has largely been realized on the outside, then the world should be at peace. But when we look at the state of the world today, it's clear that lasting peace has not been achieved yet. This points to a limitation in Kant's philosophy. So one philosopher who addressed this issue was Karl Jaspers. He argued that achieving word connection between people, the word peace is not something that can be done through laws or regulations alone. It requires a genuine connection between people, a communication of true hearts, or what he called existence. Jaspers offers an example. Imagine someone is about to destroy the entire world with a nuclear bomb. In the moment of deciding whether to press a button or not, he says it's not Kant's framework of law and order that will bring about perpetual peace. Telling the person that's a violation of the international law. You'll be punished. That won't prevent catastrophe, right? Instead, it's the decision made from human rational existence, from an individual's innate morality and sincere heart that will truly lead to peace. From this, we can draw an important insight. The modern crisis we face, like wars, conflicts, the climate crisis, pandemics, cannot be fully resolved by external forces like power of regulation alone. Why? Because at the root of this visible crisis lies a deeper spiritual crisis. Without addressing this fundamental issue, the same problems keep reappearing over time. Over 100 years ago, the founding master Sotaesan diagnosed the core of modern crisis as the spiritual enslavement to materialism. With the development of scientific civilization, the human spirit, which should be making use of material things, has daily weakened, while the power of material things, which human beings should be using, has daily grown stronger. So without cultivating our spiritual strength, the growing influence of materialism has come to dominate human spirit, leading humanity into a turbulent sea of suffering. Founding Master Sotaesan's diagnosis was profound. The internal spiritual crisis, our inner fears, greed, attachment, ignorance, and resentment has manifested outwardly, becoming war, climate disasters, poverty, and disease. When we are afflicted by serious illness, we need to do more than just treat the symptoms. We must address the root cause of the disease to truly heal. Similarly, in this world, while we work to solve these visible problems, we must also strive to tackle the underlying issues that give rise to them. Whose responsibility is it to tackle the fundamental spiritual crisis over time? It lies with religion. How should we approach this? We need to cultivate the neglected and fallow fields of our minds. We must extinguish the fire of greed, awaken the eye of our minds to the truth, and train ourselves to use our minds wisely. If religion ignores this responsibility and instead ignites the sparks of conflict and struggle, sowing anxiety, fear, and turmoil across the globe, humanity's path toward a true, harmonious civilization that is complete both internally and externally will remain distant and unattainable. So the founding master Sotaesan stated that overcoming the modern crisis faced by humanity cannot be achieved by the power of politics and science alone, nor by the power of religion and study of the way alone. Just as a car cannot move safely and effectively without both wheels functioning very well, politics and religion must join hands to create a new world that addresses the spiritual and physical poverty, ignorance, and disease affecting humanity. So the third head Dharma master, Cardinal Master Daesan, devoted his life to exploring how to bring this vision of the founding master Sotaesan and Cardinal Master, the second head Dharma master Jeongsan, to fruition. He contemplated how we could ensure that both wheels of our metaphorical car operate smoothly, guiding humanity toward a life of peace and fulfillment. To tackle the modern crisis, he put forward the three great proposals for world peace: the establishment of united religions, the creation of a common market, and the training for the cultivation of the human mind field, as you can see in this paper. So today I will focus on the first proposal, the establishment of UR. Cardinal Master Daesan proposed the establishment of united religions, much like the creation of the United Nations, which came from the painful realization and reflection by political leaders on their inability to fully meet the responsibilities and obligations required to achieve lasting peace. In the same way, we as religious people must also take up our own inherent responsibilities in the face of today's crisis. The purpose of creating UR is not simply to have a new organization, but to foster a deep spirit of unity and brotherhood among all religions, ensuring that we can flourish together. Through this coalition, all religions will unite in a shared effort to cultivate humanity's mind field, facing the challenges of our time with one heart and one purpose. Without establishing a central unifying body with representation and cohesion, similar to UN, and without all religions joining forces to address the common issues facing humanity, we will be unable to resolve the fundamental crisis of today's crisis, leaving humanity in an unsolvable predicament, leading to immense suffering. Cardinal Master Daesan envisioned that by establishing united religions. Alongside the UN, both organizations could collaboratively steer the world toward lasting peace. His three great proposals for world peace serve as complementary pillars to Kant's philosophy of perpetual peace. Externally, we govern the world through laws in accordance with the Kant's ideals, while internally, we cultivate humanity's mind field in line with the Cardinal Master Taeshan's vision to achieve perpetual world peace. This dual approach represents a profound aspiration for humanity, calling for the emergence and realization of great ideas that will guide us toward a truly civilized world, harmonizing both spiritual and material aspects. So it's a significant hope and great vision for our world in desperate need of transformation. So why have we, as religious individuals, not been fulfilling our inherent responsibilities and duties? Why have the tragic conflicts between religions persisted for so long? The root of this issue lies in the failure of all religions to recognize that their fundamental principles are originally one. Instead, they create divisions and barriers, failing to unite in harmony. This oneness is not merely a numerical unity. It's a unity that exists amidst diversity. It means that while names and forms may differ, they are non-dual. It's like our fingers of a hand, distinct yet part of a single entity. This embodies the Yeowon ideology, Yeowon주의, a grand universal ideology. Jesus sought to renew humanity's mind by teaching love, mercy, and compassion. Confucius aimed to rejuvenate the human minds through loyalty, filial piety, and righteousness. Similarly, our founding master Sotaesan taught the threefold study, the four essentials, the fourfold grace, and the 8 articles to renew the minds of humanity. At their core, their meanings and truth they convey are fundamentally one. Since the establishment of Cardinal Master Taeshan's 3 great proposals for world peace, Won Buddhism has actively pursued the grand vision of creating the United Religions Organization. In 1970, Cardinal Master Taeshan sent his disciples to the inaugural assembly of the World Conference of Religions for Peace in Kyoto, Japan, to convey the aspiration for the United Religions Organization. It's deeply moving to think about how, from a lesser-known Eastern faith, he urged his disciples to deliver this message among the vast landscape of established religions, even when we were not a formal member. Following that, Won Buddhism has been a formal member of WCRP since the Second Assembly and has continued to engage actively. In 1984, Cardinal Master Taeshan himself advocated for the 3 great proposals for world peace during the visit of Pope John Paul II to South Korea, which resonated deeply with the Pope. Additionally, Won Buddhism has played a significant role in the interfaith cooperation efforts through many organizations. So, how can we, gathered here today, ensure that all religions unite to address the modern crisis and establish a united religion organization? Ultimately bring about true world peace. How can we each play our parts, no matter how small? There are many paths we could take, but I would like to emphasize the idea of establishing you are within our minds first. The root of dividing us from them and rejecting differences does not lie in the abstract and vast concept of religion, but within our own hearts. Within each of us, there are numerous boundaries of ethnicity, nation, religion, belief, and fundamentally, the boundary of self. How far do your boundaries extend? How far? While some boundaries can play an important role in allowing individuals to live fully as members of society, most boundaries tend to push away and reject what is different from us. We draw lines around ourselves, believing that we are good, we are right, and we are noble, while everything outside those lines is bad, wrong, and inferior. Even within a single community, if we proclaim to be one family or one brotherhood with our words, but reject, ostracize, or harbor jealousy toward those who don't align with us in our minds, that community will never achieve harmony or growth. For someone who has not experienced true unity, calling for all religions to move towards oneness will only be an empty slogan. From a young age, I have cherished my family very deeply. Whenever our family faced challenges, I would do my utmost to resolve the issues. My life's purpose was to ensure their comfort of my hardworking grandmother and my parents while raising my younger siblings. The boundary of my family was so strong that if anyone troubled them, a surge of anger would rise, leading to an instinctive rejection of that person. Despite my devotion to my family, their problems were not easily resolved, and I carried the weight of my heartache for a long time. But one day, during a retreat at the center headquarters of Won Buddhism, I expressed my struggles to my teacher, eagerly anticipating that how he would provide a solution for me. However, the teacher said, "You're struggling because you are trying to carry only your family on a small boat. You need to carry everyone in the world in a big boat." I felt an immense shock, as if I had been struck. So in that moment, I realized that I was not only feeling my family's pain at that very moment, but also the tragedies of the entire world as if they were my own. My strongest boundary shattered, and the love I had for my family expanded to encompass the world. I felt a profound desire to help everyone, no matter who they are. This realization resonated with the teachings of the Buddha, Jesus, and Cardinal Master Sotaesan, and all enlightened masters. I understood that Breaking free from my limited distinctions and boundaries would allow me to see the world as my home and all humanity as my family. This expansive heart represents the fundamental spirit of you are within me. So who are on your boat? Who are on your boat? Has your inner family united? Has your workplace become united? You and I are not two, but one. This true oneness exists beyond the thought of having achieved it. If a great vision arises from this awareness, and if it spreads like a wave from heart to heart, then the establishment of the united religions and world peace will naturally follow. I still carry numerous boundaries in my mind. I sometimes reject and push away those who hold different values, creating a cold atmosphere. However, I promise to first establish this you are within my mind. Only then can I confidently encourage others in the religious community to join in creating the you are. We are all different. Our religions may differ, as may our ethnic backgrounds, values, and wealth. Yet, when we come together in this Dharma hall to practice and seek our true nature, we become like one family, one brotherhood. I sincerely hope you will join me in raising this wave of awareness, becoming protagonists in building one world where everyone thrives together. A world that embodies true civilization, where science and the study of the way progress in harmony. Shall we read together aloud the significance of the establishment of the united religions? The significance of the establishment of the united religions. All of us, as followers of different religions, must unite and establish united religions to stand on equal footing with the political UN. We bear the duty and responsibility to eradicate the spiritual and physical poverty, disease, and ignorance that plague humanity. You are the hope, the great vision. Thank you for listening.